set up by a woman named Kimberly Kasai. Kimberly had extreme views about the COVID-19 vaccine and decided to pull the stunt in order to warn people of the dangers of taking the vaccine themselves. Now, this first story might be a hoax, but the next one is not. Kelvin Santos. On June 1st, 2012, 2-year-old Kelvin Santos was in critical condition at Abelardo Santos Hospital in Belém, northern Brazil, where he was receiving treatment for pneumonia. The prognosis wasn't good, and doctors battled to save the toddler. Despite their best efforts, Kelvin passed away at the hospital from pneumonia and respiratory failure at 7 p.m., and his devastated family was handed his tiny body in a plastic bag and sent home to grieve. The Brazilian funeral tradition is to bury the dead within 48 hours of their passing, so the family got to work, planning the young boy's funeral for the following day. Kelvin's body was laid in an open coffin overnight, and grieving relatives were permitted to come and view him and say their goodbyes before the service the next day. An hour before the funeral was due to start, Kelvin's father, Antonio Santos, and other family members were in the room when the impossible happened. Kelvin sat up in his coffin, looked at Antonio, and asked, "Daddy, can I have some water?" Everyone began to scream. The boy they grieved had been reanimated, brought back to them. Whatever it was, they didn't care. They were just so happy he was alive. But as quickly as the incident happened, their hopes were dashed. Kelvin laid back down in the coffin, closed his eyes, and stopped breathing. He had died once again. Antonio picked up his son and rushed him back to Abelardo Santos Hospital. Doctors pored over Kelvin, fascinated by the modern miracle. But sadly, they confirmed there were no signs of life in the boy. Taking his deceased son home once again, Antonio decided to delay the funeral, hoping that whatever happened earlier would happen again, and Kelvin would be brought back to them. By 5 p.m., with no more movement or signs of life, Kelvin Santos was buried. But the question remains, what happened that day? How can someone that died hours before be brought back to life, even for a few seconds? Well, if you think that was convincing, wait for the next one, as things get